and welcome to Sue's story time for Tolfa. And today I'm going to tell you about the 5 very important things that animals need to stay happy and healthy. And I'm going to use 2 books by Nicola Gossard, and she's very kindly donated all her books to Tolfa, so you'll be able to purchase them yourself eventually. And the first one I'm going to refer to is The 5 Needs of Animal Welfare. Beautiful illustrations. Those illustrations, by the way, are by Ben Ferguson. So when I do show you them in the story, Ben has done a really good job. And the second one is Children's Guide to Animal Behaviour and Welfare. Now, what we mean by animal welfare is it's all about looking after animals' bodies and their minds. So animal welfare is all of the animal. So for example, if they are sick, then you would take the animal to the vet or somehow find a way of looking after it by giving medicines or operations. And if it's the animal's mind, then it's about their emotional state. So we want animals to be as happy as they can be. So animal welfare means the animal's mind and the animal's body. Just like us, when we're looking after all of us, it's our welfare. It's everything about us. So the first part of the story I'm going to take from this book. Are you ready? So animals come in all shapes and sizes. Some are very big, some are very, very small, and some are very, very tall. Can you see the picture? The tiny little one with the magnifying glass there. Okay, some animals are strong, some animals are long, and some really, really pong, like a skunk. There you go. See the picture? Some have scales, some have hair, some are just completely bare, just like a baby when it's been born. There, can you see? Some have big teeth, some have big bums, some have bendy thumbs. My goodness, we as humans have the bendy thumbs, and elephants and hippopotamuses, well, you can see how big their bottoms are. Okay, now let's have a look at the next page. Some animals squeak, some animals bark, some meow, and some squawk. It's all just a way to talk. Some animals live together, some animals live all by themselves. Some wander the earth and some have homes. So you can see the rabbits like to be together, and you can see that the elephants, they like to wander the earth. They don't have a particular area or home. They just wander about in their country. Some animals use tools to make life easy, and some give jewels to please their squeezy. People use tools to catch fish. Chimpanzees use tools to fish out termites out of their nests. So they're using a big stick to do it. And a special bird called the male bower collects tiny, shiny blue objects to attract their mate. And people give their loved ones jewels as a token of their affection. Can you see? Can you see the beautiful bird? Can you see the chimpanzees using the stick to poke the termites out of their nest? That's very clever of them to do that. In the end, we are all the same. We all feel hunger and we all feel pain. Every animal sometimes feels happy, mad, or even sad. So, for example, pigs enjoy bathing in the mud. Free-range pigs get to play outside in the mud. But there are some pigs who live in factory farms and they become sad and bored. And you can see from the two pictures the difference in how they look. You can just tell, can't you? The one in the cage looks very sad. We are all sentient beings, which means that we all have feelings, even those animals that you might not find appealing, maybe like centipedes or spiders or little flies, for example. But every animal has feelings, and it's important that we recognize that, very much so. We all like playing and we all like fun. Then there's time to rest when the day is done. That horse is really enjoying galloping. And that little cat is loving playing with that piece of string with what looks like a little mouse on the end of it, but it's not real. We should all be free to be who we are. And Nicola has done a very, very good job of explaining that there are so many different kinds of animals in our world, and every single one of them deserves our respect and deserves our help if they need it. So I'm going to tell you now from the book, The 5 Needs of Animal Welfare, exactly what those 5 things are. Do you think you might be able to remember them? I hope so. Let's have a look. So the first one, all animals, whatever their species, they all need a good home, or they need to find shelter. The second thing, all animals need the right kind of food to stay healthy. And the third one is that all animals need the right kind of fun to be happy. And the fourth one, all animals need the right number of friends. And the fifth one is all animals need good health. So we're going to just look at each of those individually now, and then you might like to join in with a little activity after this video. So the first one, the need for a good home. So the book describes a picture and a little bit about guinea pigs. So I'm going to show you the picture first before I start reading. Can you see it? I think many people have guinea pigs as pets, but it's very important sometimes to understand where guinea pigs were and how they might live if they were living in the wild. So that will help us understand how we can make the animal feel happy while we're looking after them as pets. So it says wild guinea pigs live in South America, and they enjoy the freedom to explore their mountainous grassy homelands, but they must also look out for predators. So they need a safe hiding place to run when they feel scared. So now that we know a little bit about guinea pigs in the wild, we know that to make them feel happy when they're our pets, they need a safe place to go and hide, such as in their hutch. But it's also important to let them have the opportunity to explore. So a hutch is not enough to satisfy guinea pigs' need for a good home. They also need a very big space to run around. So I think that that's very helpful to know that one as an example. So all animals need a good home. Let's have a little think about the second need, and that's the need for the right kind of food. Now, there are some things that animals eat that would be very good for them and other things that are not good for them. And did you know that chocolate is poisonous to dogs? It certainly is. And rhubarb is poisonous to hamsters. So it's very important that we give animals the right kind of food. And I've got a picture here of some different kinds of animals eating their different kinds of food. And there are 3 special words to describe the kinds of food. So let's have a look at the picture. Okay, so we've got, can you see it very well? There you go, that's a little bit better. So we've got a lion eating some meat, and it is known as a carnivore, a carnivorous animal, because he eats meat. Okay, and then we have a little hamster who's eating some seeds and vegetables, and those kind of animals that only eat fruit and vegetables and seeds, they're called herbivores. And then we have other kinds of animals that actually eat meat and fish and fruit and vegetables and seeds, and they're called omnivores. So bears are an example, and some people are an example of omnivores. But lots of people now are being herbivores or vegetarians. So we as people can choose what we eat, because we have the capability in our bodies just to eat fruit and vegetables, and we can eat meat and fish as well. So the third thing that is very important for animals is the need for the right type of fun. And it is, again, quite useful to think about what a pet would have been like if it was in the wild. And they give us the clue as to the right type of fun that would be appropriate. So, for example, cats and dogs, if they were wild, they would have to go and hunt and prey for their food. So they enjoy games to do with catching things, and they love it. So, for example, little cats, they love to chase balls or pieces of string, and dogs like to run after and catch balls and retrieve them. So can you see those pictures there? And that's why it's very important to have the right kind of fun. And the next really important need for animals is that they are friends with others. Now, some animals are very, very sociable, like elephants, and other animals are not as sociable. So they like to live by themselves. They are known as solitary animals. And you get certain animals that like that. For example, hamsters, they like to be by themselves. They don't like to share their home, their large cage, with any other hamster. They like to be by themselves. And you get rabbits who all like to be together. They feel very, very sad if they're by themselves. And I described again elephants. They like to be by themselves. They like to be in a herd. They like to be in their families in the wild. And so do chimpanzees and monkeys and other primates. So it's very important to understand what animals, or the right number of friends animals need to be happy. And here's a picture of some of them there. You see it? Okay. So animals that like lots of friends are social, and animals that like to live by themselves are solitary. Okay, and the final thing that animals need to be healthy is that they need to have their bodies looked after. So if they get sick, it's really important that we take them to the vet. And if they get injured, same again, take them to the vet so that they don't suffer or have any pain. So it's very, very important that we do that. And the other thing is, and do you remember me telling you that animal welfare is not just about an animal's body, it's also about their mind as well. And one of the things that we must be very careful about is that we must remember that animals like to play, they like to have friends or not. And also we as human beings must treat them with respect. And there's a picture here of a man hurting another animal here, and it's very important that we don't do that, because it will make the animal very, very unhappy indeed. So we must not hurt animals in any way, shape or form, because that will not make the animal feel very happy at all. It will make them feel very sad, anxious and upset. And we as people don't like to feel sad, anxious and upset. So it's very important that we respect our animals that live on the planet. Okay, so there are 5 very important things, and Nicola has produced some wonderful photocopies and that we'll be able to get from Tolfa, and she has made a picture, and it's a heart shape. Can you see it? And it's a picture of all the things that animals need. And I've done the same. But I've made a plan, and my plan was, and I know that you'll know this from school, that whenever you do anything to do with arts and crafts, you have to think of it and plan it first. And I wondered whether it might be a good idea for you to create a plan for a design for a tote bag. And I'm going to show you how I've planned mine now. And when you have planned it, you might be able to create a tote bag yourself. You can buy a tote bag from any art and craft shop, put it over your shoulder, and your bag will display all the 5 things that animals need. And perhaps other people will read it and learn something from your tote bag that you've created. So if you do want to make one, you can go to any art and craft shop, buy a tote bag and the special crayons that you can use to draw. But before you do any of that, you need to plan it out. So I've got a simple A4 sheet of paper, and at the end, about 1 centimetre, I cut it so that I created, let me just see if I can find my scissors. So it was just creating a handle. So if you can see what I'm doing, it's round about a centimetre and a half on your A4 sheet. And then using this is your handle. All you do, put your finger in the middle and slightly turn the inside so that you create a line. And it is a simple angle like that. Okay, it's a 90-degree angle in the middle. And then do another simple one, turn it the other side, into the middle, and you've kind of created for yourself your first part of your design, which is the handle. Okay, and then you can stick it on your bag, and then you've created a design of a tote bag. When you've done that, you can do some pictures, and I copied the Ben Ferguson versions, so here they are. That's mine. Okay, so we've got all the food. Animals need the right kind of food. They need somewhere to live, so I've given an example of a shelter for a dog. This is a plaster, And so animals need their bodies taken care of. If they feel any pain, take them to the vet. They need the right kind of friends. So I know that rabbits like to be with others. And then we've got play. Animals like to play. And I've drawn a picture of a pussycat chasing a ball of string. Okay, so these are the 5 things that animals need to stay healthy. And I hope you've enjoyed my talk today. It's not been a story in the same way as we can read stories in fiction because they are made up. These things that I've been telling you today are 5 things that you can do to make an animal, either your pet or a wild animal that you see, that you will help that animal to feel good and to feel happy and to feel safe. So let's go through one more time what those 5 things are. Are you ready? First thing is a need for a good home. The second one, for the right kind of food. The third one is the right kind of fun. The fourth one is to have the right number of friends. And the 5th one is to have good health. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves today and listening, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Thank you. Bye-bye.